welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy, and this video is episode 26 of Tea Tuesday. Let's go make some tea, and then we're gonna spill the tea on everything that's been going on for the past couple of weeks. All right, so I used the beautiful Tea for One set that my friend Shauna got me for my birthday to make a beautiful cup of tea. I did add some keto brains to it because it just kind of felt like this tea would lend to that. It's a smaller Tea for One than I'm used to. My Royal Alberts are a little bit bigger. This one is truly a 1 cup pot of tea, which is awesome. It's not a complaint. It's just an observation that's different. And I've been talking a lot already. Ooh, that is absolutely fantastic. So since I don't know if it showed up, but I went and I got this a couple weeks ago. I think it was my birthday when I got this. This is a Twinings tea. This one I bought at Epcot in the tea shop. I have not been able to find this tea locally other than at the tea shop. I think it's one of their UK ones. So if you're looking for it, I'm sorry if you can't find it. Just come to Florida, go to Epcot and buy it at Epcot. I know, expensive trip, but it would still be cheaper than going over to the UK. Or if you have someone in the UK who's willing to ship it to you, I highly recommend it. This is a nutty chocolate awesome, I think. It's spelled ASSAMT. So it's a black tea that has cocoa nibs and hazelnut flavoring. That nuttiness really comes through. And then for me, if I put the keto brains in there, it even adds a little bit of that creaminess, which there's a little bit of coconut from the keto brains. And it's just, oh, it's so good. I love it. All right, well, let's start to spill the tea. I know it's been a busy couple of weeks. As you can see, Piper's coming over to say hi to me, so you can see her nose right there. Ghost is in his bed, but she doesn't go in a crate. She's never really gone in a crate. She's not a huge fan of them. Mostly because she had a parvo as puppy, and she was in one a lot of the time. While she was sick and recovering, because it was easy to clean and it was easy to contain her. So I think she kind of has a love-hate relationship. She would go in them when we went to Disney when she was still actively working and be fine, but she was in there for just a few minutes, so it never really bothered her. But to leave her in it at home, it's not her thing. Cannot stop drinking this tea. Oh, this may be my new breakfast tea. I could easily see me making this every morning instead of going to Dutch Brothers, which would be much cheaper. So now I think I'm going to send my husband on an errand this week. He's off on Wednesday. I have to work, but I can easily send him over to Epcot to get another bag of this tea. Let's see. I don't remember how much it was. I want to say it was like 15 or 16. But yeah, I am loving this. So totally could make that a thing. So yes, work is going well. I just finished week 3 of training. It's a lot. I'm in this weird place where this job is extremely similar in how it operates to the volunteer job I had in North Carolina, which I was a client advocate at a pregnancy resource center. So we had a sheet that had questions that we were supposed to ask. And of course we could add in our others, but they were just things that we needed to document. And that the whole process of that allowed us to know how to best help the client. Well, it's set up just the same. It's just on a computer screen. You've got your sheet They call it a flow, and that's pretty standard word, so I'm not giving anything away. But they call it a flow, and that's what we called it at the Pregnancy Resource Center too. It was your flow. It was just what you started at the top, you worked your way down. If you think that you needed extra questions, you asked extra questions. They call them probing questions. We ask the same things at work because we're trying to gather certain information to see if we are able to help. So that part I am extremely comfortable with. But with that comes the downside of I'm still learning the software, which it is pretty easy to navigate. But I also am still learning the job. So even though it's extremely similar and I have a level of comfort and I have a good speaking voice, everybody keeps telling me I've got a great speaking voice and I'm good on the phones, it's leading to a little bit of an issue where I'm getting lost in the shuffle. And it's a little bit frustrating. And I haven't figured out how to try to correct the issue. I am speaking up, asking for help when I need help. So it's not a matter of me being shy, but I've had some issues with my advisor. Very nice person. These are not personal. These are not personal attacks. She's very lovely. She's very helpful when I do most of the time. She's very helpful most of the time. But it's me and one other gal. And she is supposed to be monitoring both of our calls. All of our calls are recorded, so I don't have our screens, even how we do our screens is recorded. It doesn't bother me. That's a safety check all around, and it actually is something that I'm comfortable with because I'm not doing anything stupid anyway. But anyway, she's also supposed to be listening in our calls and alternating between us to help catch things and things like that. What is happening is a lot of times she spends all the time with the other gal. And it's not necessarily a begrudging thing, but I have made a mistake. I'm sure I've made more, but I'm aware of one that I made on Friday before I came home. I was screening an accident, and I should have also screened it for workers' comp because he was driving a company vehicle. And I missed that. And if she had been paying a little bit more attention to me, she could have caught it. I didn't catch it that I didn't do that until like 3 hours after I got home because I like to just like think about my day and process my day and just see if there's like where I could improve, stuff like that. It's just part of my process. And I caught it and I felt so bad. It was our first day working workers' comp. So yes, my brain was not used to that. I am new at this job, but it was frustrating. And then a lot of the times I go to ask her a question and she's gone to the bathroom and I don't know that she's gone to the bathroom. Not that I'm begrudging anybody going to the bathroom, but it would be nice to, at least have some semblance of knowing that I'm, going to ask a question. I would like to know that you're going to be there or not, and I am learning to find the answers myself, which is also very good. Things are going bad. This is not, or not bad. Things are going well. This is not a bad thing. This is just little things where I feel like I'm not getting some of the support that I would like to have. And I asked on day one and multiple times to have some help setting up 2 computer screens because I've never worked on 2 screens. And I've never had a computer-based job. So even though I have experience with like Microsoft and things like that, I've never used Teams, which I'm comfortable with now. We've been using it for like 3 weeks. So I'm figuring it out and it's cool. It's not hard, it's not complicated. But it does take me a little bit to like remember things because I've also been out of school for a while. You hand me an iPad and Disney stuff, I can navigate that until the cows come home because I know it forward and backwards, and I still have to learn that aspect of this job, and it's not a bad thing. But anyway, she had gone, we had an issue and she had to take her break with the other gal after me. She didn't want to keep me off the phones waiting for the other gal to finish, so she let me go on my break early, which was totally agree with. I would have done the same thing. It gets me back on the phones faster, and then somebody else can help me for that 30 minutes you're gone. It's not a huge deal. And in that 30 minutes, I did have to ask a question, and the other advisor came over and he was like, "Whoa, you got a mess going on here." I said, "I know, it's hard to find stuff." He goes, "Yeah, I can tell." I said, "I've been asking for some help to get this fixed." He goes, "Let's finish this call and then put yourself on training and I'll help you get this set up." So I loved it. He spent 5 minutes, just blew my brain with how he got everything set up. It works exactly now the way that I want it to work and the way that it should work. And then he showed me like some of our documents that we have to have up that have the information that we need. They're hyperlinked. I had no idea they were hyperlinked. So now if I go to the section of the document I need and I click the hyperlink, it pulls up additional information that I need quickly from a table of contents page. It's insane. It's awesome that that's the way that it is, but I didn't know that it was that way. So I didn't have those tools at my fingertips, and I just got those. So yeah, I was frustrated. I'm still a little frustrated. It'll be interesting to see how it goes this week. This week is week 4 of training. I have 1 more week. We have 2 days of class, and I have to miss a day of class. I'm going to talk to them and see if I can come in and then leave. Once I leave, I won't be coming back, but I have my mandated mediation for my workers' comp hearing from Disney. So I literally cannot be in 2 places at once, but I am going to miss the first of the 2 days of class that we have, and it's huge. We're learning all the rest of the case types, which there's what we handle of them is much smaller, but we need to have a little bit of understanding to be able to generally screen them and stuff like that. But I'm gonna miss it. So I'm gonna try to go, but we'll see how it goes. One worry with trying to go is that my hearing's at 1:30. I have to call in, so I need to be home by 1:30. But I read the letter again, and my lawyer is going to be spending 20 minutes with me before this. So I don't know if he's calling me at like 1 o'clock and we're doing it, and then I'm calling into it. I have no idea. So now I need to be home by 1, which means I probably need to leave at 11:30 to give myself at least an hour and a half to get home. If it came down to it and I had to pull into a parking lot and do it, I would. I don't want to do that. It's not very professional. It's just a phone call though, so I will have my AirPods with me. So if I have to, I could. I just don't want to. I'd rather be at home in a more protected environment. So is it even worth it to go for 8, 9, 10, 11? So I could cut out right before lunch, the lunch break. It would help my paycheck because then I wouldn't lose the day. I'm not going to get a point for the day. It's an approved day off for me, so I don't have to worry about that aspect. I just don't want to miss the material. And I have no idea how long the mediation is going to take. Some research that I've done via Google has said it could be anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. So I don't want to come all the way home to do that, to turn around and go all the way back. But I'm going to talk to them and see how it goes. At the time of this recording, it is Sunday, and I'll explain how T-Tuesday is going to work. You're still going to see it on Tuesday, so it'll already be Tuesday when you're watching this. But for me, it is Sunday. I'm going to talk to them tomorrow on Monday and see what they can do to help. You know, who knows, maybe they'll be able to like say, here, just go into this little room. You will take you off the clock. You're out. We'll, and then if you're able to come back in, we'll get you back in, and they can modify my time, all that kind of stuff on the back end if necessary. So we'll see, but I want to talk to them because you never know. They might be able to legit help me miss very little of my class, which would be fantastic. But I got my schedule and I will be doing the 410s, which is fantastic. I do have a closing shift, but the office closes at 9 o'clock, which is not awful. I think it could actually work really good. I work Monday, Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday. I work Friday, Saturday. I'm off Sunday. So this will work out really well for Ghost because the only days that he'll be left entirely alone is Friday and Saturdays. So it's 2 days because someone will be home on Monday. Someone will be home on Tuesday. A couple of us will be home on Wednesday. I'll be home on Thursday, out Friday, and then I'm also home Sunday. So yeah, and being that I have a later morning start time, I could be in bed traffic's going to be less at night when I get off. So it should only take me 50 to 60 minutes to get home, unless there's a major accident, and that would be like the exception, not a norm. Whereas my commute home is becoming a norm at this point. Anyway, I could still be home, and I could like wind down and be up by 10 and be in bed by 10:30, 11 at the latest. And I could sleep till 5 when Matt gets up, or 6 o'clock if I really wanted to push it. And then I could get up, I could get Ghost out for a good walk. We could walk for an hour in the mornings, and I could be done with that walk by 6:30, 7 o'clock, something like that. Because even if I got up at 5, I probably wouldn't leave till 5:30. So between 6:30 and 7, I could be done with his thing. I would need to leave probably at about 9 o'clock. So if I'm done by 7, I still have time to shower, cook myself breakfast, which is going to be fantastic because I can have that first meal. And that's the way I'm thinking that this is going to go, is I'm going to have my big meal in the morning, and then I will pack emergency snacks like meat bars, and I've been using cheese whips and stuff too if I need something. And then I can bring a shake, or I can bring a lunch as well and have it. I will probably bring shake and lunch because I can always drink the shake on a 15-minute break. It's going to be such a long day. I'm going to start with more food once I get into that schedule than less food. I'd rather have more and not need it than less and find that I'm in trouble and I'm stopping at Burger King on the way home, which I did last week, and I don't want to do that because that was not fun. It was expensive and it didn't even taste good, but I was starving. And I should have just waited. I'm kind of glad I didn't though, because that day it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get home. So that would have been additional 2 hours, and I would have really been hangry at that point. So it was one of those things where I called it a learning lesson. Make sure you have plenty of food, make sure you have plenty of snacks, like my venison bars and stuff like that. And then you're good to go. Soon I'll be I'll be ordering some Keto Brick. I just don't have the funds right now because we're catching up on things from not having a paycheck for a couple weeks, and I don't get my first incentive payout till the end of October, and we've got some other things coming up that we need to take care of, like our daughter's coming and we've got to get some things for her and stuff like that. So that is going to take priority. But once I get through that, I'm going to be ordering some Keto Brick because I'm going to keep that in my desk too, because it's shelf stable. I'm going to get some venison bars and keep those in my desk as well. And that will help me have food without necessarily having to pack a lot of food every day, but I'll get there in time. But I am loving my job so far. It's pretty good. I will tell you that there is a different type of tired when you sit and you stare at a computer screen for 8 hours a day. I know when I go to get new glasses, I will at least get one pair that have blue blockers, and hopefully that will help, because I just come home and my eyes are tired, my head is tired, I have a bit of a headache, stuff like that. One thing I might be getting for my desk, it depends. I want to see where my desk is and see how I respond in that environment, but they make screens that you can put over your head to help block light and stuff like that, which may be helpful to me. Thankfully, light is not, it's overstimulating, but it's not like I have way more sensitivity with noise levels versus brightness to a degree. But that doesn't mean that I don't have problem with like fluorescent lights, because it can at sometimes if the noise they can make can really get to me too. I haven't noticed too much of a problem, but I think that's because I've been trying to hyper focus on everything that the clients are saying and making sure I'm doing everything right. So right now that is distracting from everything else going on in the room, because I'm super focused on it. So I'm missing it. I actually think I'm coming down with a cold, which is not pleasant. I will be making sure I get plenty of electrolytes in today because of that, but half of our class is sick. So it would not surprise me if I'm catching a little bit of cold, but because we can't miss more than one day of training or we lose our jobs, everybody's coming to work sick. So I understand that. I would come to work sick too in that situation. just because, unless I was really, really sick, and then we're gonna have to try to figure something out. But so everybody's got the sniffles. So hopefully I'm not getting sick. My throat's just a little tingly. But we'll go on with that, and I'll get some electrolytes. But yeah, work is good. Bonsais are doing good. I lost another bonsai. I am down to 8. The ones I have are doing very well. The ones that I have now are super healthy. I don't know. It's a learning experience. I am not an expert. I water them, I fertilize them. I do everything I should. You can see that it's lit. I keep the window open to make sure they get enough light. The problem with the last one I had actually could be something that was not actually me. It could be that the pot it was in was too small and therefore it was drying out too fast. And even though I was watering it every other day, it didn't quite need it every day, but it kind of probably did. I just don't think that it could hold on to enough water, and it was ended up, if my research is correct, it was ended up being underwatered. And I couldn't water it more. I just didn't have time to water it more on my very busy schedule. But these guys are all doing well. I haven't decided if I want any more. I think I do. I think I want a couple more baby bonsai. I'm down to 2 left. Let's see, I'm gonna grab this one. So about a month ago, I just replanted it into this yesterday. About a month ago, I bought 4 of these little tiny baby Ficus benjaminas. I gave one away. 2 have not made it. I think 2 didn't make it. I think there was another issue going on with this particular person, so I would not order from them again. Had a bug issue for a while. I've since treated it. There was just like gnats and things like that, and I've got that taken care of. But I think it was too much for the little baby trees, because I mean, he literally is like 3 inches tall, 4 inches tall. But I took him and that one right there, and I had other trees that didn't make it, and so I saved the pots because pots are expensive. And then these I had planted in plastic pots yesterday. So I just took the soil they were already in. It's not bonsai soil, because I have learned that baby trees do better in actual organic type soil versus a bonsai soil, which is very rocky and things like that. They need a little bit more of this to help retain the moisture and things like that. So it'll be a while before I can put them in bonsai soil, but I did get them in cute little bonsai pots. So I kind of want to order some more baby trees. The ficus are my favorite. This one's a ficus. I have a ficus right here. This one behind me is a ficus. These 2 are ficuses. I have a ficus and a chaparella. And then I have a money tree, which I also think is a ficus. And then you can't see it, but I have a ginseng ficus over there. So ficus seems to be what I do very, very well with. And then right there in that plastic bag, for my birthday, I got a grow your own bonsai Chinese elm from seeds. So I planted that yesterday. So that was a lot of fun, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I have a couple more cute little pots that I have the desire to fill with other bonsai. But I'm going to wait probably until spring and see how I do with these through winter, because I am kind of comfortable with the amount that I have to. I don't want too many more because it becomes too much work for me, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I love looking at them. Right now, they're mostly just growing. I have made some cuts, but nothing's been like super stylized. I did cut this one right here. It was a twin trunk, and they were really tall, and so I cut it down because I wanted it to be smaller, and then those leaves have sprouted. And then this one was also just very tall and very sparse. So this is Benny. Let me grab him. So he was like up here, but the branches were like very, very spread out. So I wanted to cut it down because, one, I wanted a shorter tree. I only want this tree to be about this tall. So I wanted to give it a chance to sprout branches lower, and it's starting to do that. So I have like one here, there's one starting down here, and I think there's one out the back. So, and here, so it's doing what I wanted to do, but it's a slow growing tree. So it's pretty much, you make a choice and you wait and you fertilize and you water and you wait and you fertilize and you water and you wait. But I like it. It's an active hobby without being like a super active hobby. It's not like I have to go out and I have to trim them every week, all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. And then I bought a new bookshelf. I'm going to turn the camera. It's right there. And so I didn't have to. I chose to order some new books on Amazon. They all came yesterday. I ordered 19 books last week. So I have a ton of new books. And I still have my Kindle, but I have not touched my Kindle in a month because I've been reading physical books, which I really do prefer. So I figured in our tea segment, I'm going to talk more about my books, what I'm reading, what I'm going to be reading, stuff like that, because this is a huge part of me and a huge part of my life. And this is about my life and not just my health journey. It's just my journey through life and how things help. So one of the books I got yesterday was this one. It is The Misadventure of Miss Adelaide. And this one came across my Facebook feed. And I could have bought a digital copy. But again, I was liking physical copies. The story was cute. It's 170 pages. What it was advertised as, with pictures and everything, and what it ended up being, were not that close. The story, like I said, was cute. It was sweet. It was clean. It was underdeveloped. And I'm not usually one who's hard on books, but it was just like the time frame was super, super fast, and it was very awkward, and it did not seem natural. Love at first sight, but even at love at first sight, usually it's just there's more time to develop after this. And it's just like this felt like this whole thing took place in a week. And it made it very unrealistic. Good storyline, good plot. There was some bad writing, and I'm not usually one that hits on that. But this is set in Regency, England. I love historical fiction. I love Regency area, Jane Austen, historical fiction. I read a lot of it. So I have expectations. This didn't meet it. She said stuff like hogwash and phooey, and those are American. I'm sorry, they would not have said that in the Regency era. I know what she was trying to do with it, but it just made it seem very disconnected and under-researched. She could have been more on her descriptions, and I get that it's a 200-page book. And that's where I'm saying is this could have been a much better story, much, much, much better story if it had been 350 to 400 pages long. You would have had a fantastic book. This is one in a series of 20. And I think they're more supposed to be short stories. But this book was $17. For record, this book is $18. I kind of feel gypped. And it is an indie published book, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind that part. I like supporting indie authors. I like supporting new authors. I don't think she's a new author from reading her bio. Yeah, she is not a new author, but it just wasn't for me. It was cute. Like I said, it was cute. It was sweet. I read it in like 8 hours. So it really didn't take long, but I wanted so much more from the story. I wanted it to be more developed and really draw you in. It is like you started getting drawn in and something changed, and then you start getting drawn and then it was changing, and it just felt very disconnected, and the flow was off, and it Didn't like it. So this week I started reading this one. This is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I picked this book based off this cover. I'm like, oh, that looks cute and sweet. And I do that a lot. I do judge books by their covers. It's just who I am. It doesn't mean if I don't like the cover that I won't pick up the book, but a lot of the times the cover really does sell me on the book. Oh, that looks like a fun, cute book, because I like to blindly read things without entirely knowing what they are. I'll pick a genre and go, oh, that one looks good, and then I'll pick it. It's just who I am. But anyway, this one is cute and sweet so far, and I'm only 80 pages in. I've been reading at work before I clock in on my 15-minute breaks, so I'm definitely not super far into it. But it's really weird to describe it, because so far it is basically this cover. The way that it's written, it's cute, it's sweet, it's just bright, fun, and I really like it so far. But I'm switching gears. That one's gonna go to the side for a little bit, because I read the first book in this duology a couple of weeks ago, and it sucked me in. Totally different type of genre for me. I don't normally read, and I haven't been like a dark paranormal type reader. I haven't been into that. A little moral gray I've done, but not anything like dark. But I read The Coven, which I bought because it's got roses on it, and it's up there in the corner. And it was, it was different, and it stood out. And I read the back, and I'm like, that could be an interesting book. And it got sucked in. I could see why some people wouldn't like it, and I could see why it would not be things that a lot of people would like. But I enjoyed it. But I can also look at things and go, hey, it's fiction, it's totally not real. I don't believe this. But yeah, so I am going to pick up book 2 and start that later today, because again, it's a duology. There's only 2 books. So if I can get it done, I can do it. And I absolutely love the sprayed edges on this. So this one is definitely going to be in my collection. A lot of times I will buy books, and then I will, I don't always keep them. I have to really connect with the book to keep them. So most of these books I either haven't read yet. Most of them I haven't read yet. But there are some on my shelves that I am deeply connected to, and I really enjoy the story. I like what I like. I don't necessarily follow trends. Yes, am I influenced by trends and stuff like on Book Talk and stuff like that? Absolutely. It's a great way to find new things and new genres, because I used to be just a romance, historical fiction romance kind of gal, and now I still love a good romance. I am finding that I don't mind if it's a little dark. But when they say check your trigger warnings, they do mean check your trigger warnings. Because there's been a couple books that have come across TikTok that people are like, oh my God, this was so good. And I will have gotten it on the Kindle Unlimited and gone, ew, no, this is definitely not for me. Which is fine. It's not knocking anybody. If it's for you, cool. It's just not for me, so I'm not going to read it. But I have found new things. I am realizing I also love fantasy, which shouldn't have been a surprise, because I loved like Princess Bride as a kid. I loved Lord of the Rings and all that kind of stuff, and Game of Thrones, which I have the audiobooks on that one. I'm still working through them, but I'll continue working through it because I do a lot of driving now. So I have a list of audiobooks that I recently bought that I'll be going through soon. So I get books in all formats. But yeah, so I'm going to read this one this week and hopefully get it done this week. It's not a very big book. It's only 290 pages. So it should go pretty quickly. It might take me all week just because I have limited reading time when I'm working. But yeah, And then I have worked on my paralegal course and I'm going to keep doing that. But other than that, life is going really well. Still thinking ahead on what video schedules are going to look like once I get out of training. So I just ask for continued patience as I continue to figure out how this channel is going to keep looking. Tea Tuesday will always be on Tuesday because I'm off on Sundays. That is literally the only thing that I have figured out, set in stone, that will be happening. I still want to do a meal prep, and I still want to do at least one other type of video. I don't know if I want to combine meal prep and grocery hauls. I don't know if I want to do a what I'm eating in a day thing. Something that I thought about doing is doing more of like a weekly vlog of what I ate. So we'll see. I have got lots of options and the sky's the limit. But I do know that Tea Tuesday will always be on Tuesday. It's just going to be filmed on Sundays now when I have the time, because that is what is going to work best for me, so that I can get a nice video in for you guys without feeling rushed or missing it because it's too late when I get home. Anyway, I have rambled on long enough about what's been going on in my life and the books I'm reading, but I hope that you all have a wonderful and joyful week, and we will chat again and spill the tea soon. Bye for now.